Okay, so we are breaking for lunch, and over lunch I've asked that you do some homework. So I thought I'd do my homework whilst you're doing yours. So I really want to see what the requirements are. We're saying add some data elements into the right hand column. Maybe the title, a list of contributors and the short description, and create another text style. So really what this is making your layout here look kind of how you want it. So I'm just going to fiddle around for a few minutes to make this look like how I want it. So I'm going to start by making that imprint a little bit better styled, because we don't need imprint to be the big news on this. So let's go in, and in actual fact I'm going to take away that very beautiful subheading that I really like, because it's not the right sort of data element for having a subheading, and because it's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it, when you see the imprint. I mean, if it says, I know feline press isn't a thing, but normally when somebody sees your imprint it's pretty clear what's going on. So let's have a look at what body text looks like for this. That's a little bit better, yeah. And I don't actually want the thema code, so I'm going to get rid of that as an element. The next thing I'm going to do, I think, is add in some of the new elements to the right hand side of this box. Do you remember I mentioned that you can show a grid? Let's show a grid, and that will kind of illuminate how much space we've got to play with. And it's quite a lot, you know. It's not too bad. So we've got all of this space here that I can do something useful with. And, you know, you know what I'll do? I will make the cover a little bit narrower, then the imprint and the basic metadata there will flow down. And then I'm going to put the title, the contributor and the short description in there. We'll have to see if it works, won't we? If it fits, I mean. So left hand column we've been looking at, and I don't really like that bold actually of the font there. I'm going to go for text style, that's bold, emphasis. I'll just do it body. You want to be imaginative, don't you? And then you realise that actually just be normal. Just be plain. You see, actually that's all a bit chunky, but we'll live with it for the moment, because none of this is overflowing just yet, she says. So that might be all right. Okay, I'm going to add things into the right hand column. So I'm going to add the title. I do actually want it with a prefix, and I might make it so that it has the prefix, but it is limited to a certain number of characters. That's a good idea. I want to have the author's name, so contributors. Do I have it nicely formatted? I do have it nicely formatted. Or just the editor, that sounds like a good one. And then I want the short description. Short desk. There's lots of desks. Long, short. And I want to have it in HTML. I want it to include HTML. Short description, pull quote limited. Main description. I'm not sure. What other options do we have? Do we have the blurb? Main description in plain text. Main description for the alternative text. Short description external. Let's just try that. See if it fits. So I'm going to save, and those are 3 data elements I've added at once. They're going to need some formatting, but it's just nice to be able to see what sort of thing we've got. So all of the short descriptions, some are missing, some are present, I mean, I do quite like to use this as a way to proofread the data as much as content. You know, it all sort of comes to life when you see something sort of present or otherwise. So I'm going to take out heading text for that. I'm going to make the content style perhaps something a bit chunkier, like 12 I could do. Yeah, I'll do that one. And I want that to be nicely squished up, so in line. Then for the title, I do actually want the title to be a little bit chunky. I don't want to announce it as a heading text. No point in that. I want it to be in line, and I want the style to be emphasis. Let's see if that will fit nicely. So that will get rid of the full text there. And yeah, that's not looking terrible. Need to sort out the style for that. And get rid of the heading on the short description there. So get rid of the heading. Might put a little bit of a gap between the information there. That seems like a good idea. We've learnt to use the vertical space before, so we may as well use that. Right, so this is looking all right. Don't really like that none there, but that's, I guess, what that element is going to give me. And now I'm going to go and edit the style, because that's clearly set to downcase, and I don't want it to be downcased. You see there, it immediately jumps out as being the offender. So when I'm changing this to downcase, I have to bear in mind that all of the templates that use this style will now be updated. So it's like a blessing and a curse, isn't it? The benefit is that all of the styles will be updated. The downside is that all of the styles will be updated. So it is what it is. But that's the thing to watch out for there. So if you get a frantic email from somebody saying, "Why is my downcased information now sorted out?" then that'll be why. There are ways to lock off particular styles, by the way, so get in touch if you need some advanced configuration like that. So now I'm getting rid of the grid as well, because I don't want to see that. Oh, and by the way, I've removed the footer image as well, because later on we're going to be having the... Oh look, I've spelled my own name wrong. Later on we're going to be emitting this as a catalogue, and what I really want to see is this sort of sense of this being a catalogue with different pages. So page 3, page 4 and all that, that's going to look a bit better, but I've kept the heading in. And it strikes me that we've got this border for the footer, which is fine. I've got a border that I've added into the artwork there, but we've also got these borders within the page area, and I'm not sure that I necessarily want those. So what I'm going to do is go into where the borders are defined, and I'm going to set the colour of the border to plain white, and that's just going to disappear the border quite nicely. So rather than having to faff around saying remove it, I'm just going to set it to something on already, and immediately change my mind, because I think now that sort of loses a bit of integrity. So I'm going to go and I'm actually going to make it a nice pale colour. You see what I mean? You just have to sort of fiddle around with things until they work. Let's try that nice palish, brownish, tannish colour. Very papery colour. Oh yeah, you see, that's nice. I like that. And then it offsets the, we've got a bit of a vibe going on there, haven't we? Great. So have we done what our homework told us to do. We've added some data elements to the right column, great. Created another text style. Well, I've sort of fiddled around with a text style. And that's it. So that's very exciting. So let's just plough on and see what we're going to do when we do get back from lunch. And I'll be wanting to sort of explain this a little bit. So depending on how you got on there, you will have noticed that all of the data elements, you can choose data elements for the left-hand column, data elements for the right-hand column. But when you add them, you get the same enormous long list. So it's not like you've only got a few to choose from the left and a few from the right. You get to have the full choice in both sets of columns. So that's good to know. The other thing that is good to know is that those data elements are exactly the same. It's exactly the same list as the ones where that you use to generate spreadsheet exports. So if we were to go to custom reports, then it's the same list there. So you're sort of building up this sort of map of what data can be emitted from Consonance, which is quite nice. Where are we? We need to get back to our documentation. Yes, and I mentioned the text styles are at client level and editable and usable by more than one template, which is a pro and a con depending on what you're doing. And so if you but the same goes for the templates as well. So if some team members should be blocked from being able to edit, that's definitely the sort of thing where you need to get in touch with us and talk it through. But by default, that's how it's going to work. And the last thing to mention is if you choose a data element whose content contains HTML, the PDF will process and style the markup rather than putting HTML tags on the page. So I'm not sure if we got any. No, we haven't got any. What do you call it? Marketing description information there that actually contained HTML, but if it did, I'm slightly tempted to go and see. Actually, let's just very quickly go and put some information in the cold crime. Let's go cold crime there. Go to the metadata page, add in some lovely descriptive something or others. We can pop in a contributor actually, can't we? Let's say that it's just by, and it's by them, and it applies to all of them. Go to the marketing text area, add a marketing text that's a short description. So let's say, wow, what a wonderful, interesting book about cats. We'll make interesting, and we'll see if we want to put in some bullet points as well. Has cats, has fur, has purrs, rather terse purr with a full stop on the end. So that's the HTML that we're going to be looking at there. We've got a P tag with strong, an M meaning italics, and then an unordered list, which is bullet points in this case. So we've done that. Go back to our flyer, refresh the page. What was it? The cold crime. All of these made up cat book names. Where's our cold crime? So there we have our cold crime, and we've got a bold, an italic, and bullet points rendered, as opposed to seeing all of that stuff, all of that HTML printed onto a PDF. I mean, that would be weird, but I just wanted to reassure you that if you've put in HTML, you're going to see the sort of visual bit there. Perhaps while we're here, actually, you can see I've now got some blue. You can just about see I've got some blue coloured bullet points. Since we're still in a lunchtime tinkering mode, let's go and make the colour of those something lovely. We'll stick with this nice sort of goldy hue thing going on. Save that, see what that looks like as an enhancement. It may detract, we'll have to see what it looks like. Detracts a bit, but I'll let it go. Fine. So this is looking all right, and you know, we could be putting in a footer, a different footer again, but I think this is okay for the moment. So yeah, so the next steps, if you've got to a similar place as I have, is to start using our templates. And what we're going to do is go over to the report area. We're going to run a report to get a list of products, and then we're going to use our new template accordingly. There's still lots more of editing that we can do on our template here, but as time marches on, our brains are going to get tighter and tighter, and I want to tackle the good bits whilst we're still fresh. So that's what we're going to do next. So I will, in time on a tradition now, pause the video, stop the video, and we'll regroup, and then on with the afternoon's entertainments. Right, see you in a moment.